Welcome to the video lecture series on chemical process plant design and economics. Myself, Jaimin Pandya, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So let's start with a new chapter which is a cost estimation. So in this lecture, we'll talk about the various factors which affect on investment and production cost. Then we'll talk about the break-even point and its significance. And then we'll after talk about total capital investment. When chemical engineers determine cost of any type of commercial process, these costs should be sufficient accurate to provide exact decision. The accomplishment of this, the engineer must have complete understanding of many factors that can affect cost. For example, many companies have reciprocal arrangement with other concerns whereby certain raw material or type of equipment may be purchased at price lower than prevailing market price. Therefore, if chemical engineer base off cost of the raw material for process on regular market price, the result may be that the process is uneconomical. If the engineer had based the estimation on actual price the company would have to pay for raw material, the economical picture might have different and alter completely. The engineer must keep up to date on price fluctuation, company policy, government regulation, and other factors affecting cost. So there are various factors which affect on investment and production cost, such as source of equipment, price fluctuation, company policy, operating time and rate production, and government policy. So these all are factors which affect on investment and production cost. So let's talk about the detail about these all factors. So let's start with source of equipment. One of the major costs involved in any chemical process is for the equipment. In many cases, standard type of tanks, reactor or other equipment are used and substantial reduction in cost can be made by the employing ideal equipment or purchasing second-hand equipment. If new equipment must be brought and several independent quotations should be obtained from the different manufacturers. When the specifications are given to the manufacturer, the chance for low cost estimation are increased if the engineer does not place over strict limitation on design. So this is all about how the source of equipment affect on investment and production cost. Now let's talk about the price fluctuation. In modern economic society, price may be a change with the one period of to another and this factor must be considered when the cost for industrial process are determined. It would obviously be ridiculous to assume that the plant operator or supervisor could be hired today at same wage at rate as in 1975. The same statement applied to a comparing price of equipment purchased at different time. The chemical engineer therefore must keep up to date on price and wage fluctuation. One of the most complete source of information on existing price conditions is the month and labor review published by the Indian Bureau of Labor Statistics. This publication gives up-to-date information on present price and wage for different type of industry. So this is all about the how the price fluctuation affect on production and investment cost. Now let's talk about the company policy. Policy of individual company have a different effect on cost. For example, some concerns have be particular strict safety regulation and this must be in every detail. According to procedure and method for determining depreciation cost change among the different company. The company policy with reference to a labor union should be considered because this will affect overtime labor charge and type of work the operator or another employee can do. Labor union policy may even detect the amount of writing and piping that can be done on a piece of equipment before buy into the plant and have a direct effect on the total cost of installed equipment. So this is all about the how the company policy affect on operating cost and investment policy and purchasing cost. Now let's talk about the operating time and rate of production. One of the factor that has important effect on cost in fraction of the total available time during which the process is operation. When the equipment stand idle for extended period of time, the labor costs are usually lower. However, other costs such as those for maintenance, protection, depreciation continue even though the equipment is not active in use. Operating time, rate of production and cell demand are closely interrelated. The ideal plant should have operate under time schedule which give maximum production rate while maintaining economical operation method. In this way, the total cost per unit of performance is kept minimum because the fixed costs are utilized into the full asset extent. The ideal method of operation is based on assumptions that the cell demand is sufficient to absorb the material produced. If the production capacity of process is greater than cell demand, the operation can be carried out at the reduced capacity or periodically at full capacity. So this is all about the operating time and rate of production and how the operating time and rate of production affect on investment and production cost. Now let's talk about government policies. The national government has many regulations and restrictions which have direct effect on industrial cost. Some examples of these are import and export, traffic regulation, restriction on permissible depreciation rate, income tax rule, environmental regulation. Government policy with reference to a capital gain and gross earning tax should be understood when costs are determined. Suppose concern designed to sell some valuable equipment before its useful life is over. The equipment has a certain assets or unmortalized value, but offer price may be a more than unmortalized value. This profit over the unmortalized value would have been taxable as long-term capital gain at 20 to 30% if it had been held for 19 months in 1977, 1 year for the 1978 to mid to 1984 and 6 months for the 1984 to through 1987. Starting in 1988, the period for long-term capital gain was 1 year. Tax rate on both short-term and long-term capital gain was greatly the same as the ordinary income. Therefore, in example referred of above, where the long-term capital gain would be realized by the selling equipment, the capital gain would be fairly large if fast depreciation method has been used by the company. Prior to 1988, this gain would be probably have taxed at lower rate, while the amount saved through the fast depreciation allowance could have been income tax rate nearly 50%. However, after 1987, new tax rules have been conducted which could make capital gain tax the same as the income tax on ordinary income above the 34%. The preceding example illustrate why the chemical engineer should have to understand effect of government regulation on the cost. Each company has own method for meeting this regulation, but change in law of alteration in nation and company economical situation require constant supervision if the optimum cost conditions are to be maintained. So this is all about the government policy and how the government policy affects on total production cost and investment cost. Now let's talk about the break-even point. Break-even point, which means a point where sales revenue and total cost are made. So using this graph can easily understand break-even point. Break-even point, which means sales revenue and total cost are made. So this line for the sales revenue and this line for the total cost. So when the sales revenue and total cost are met, it's known as a break-even point. At this point, sales revenue and break-even point are met. That's why this point is known as a break-even point. Above break-even point, there is a total profit. Below break-even point, there is a loss. So if we are going to reach break-even point, or can say that if any company reach break-even point, then after company start to generating profit. Before break-even point, company in loss. So this is all about the break-even point. Now let's talk about various significance of break-even point. To make feasibility before starting a new business, break-even point is required. Break-even point is determine the selling price or desirable sell mix for the earning target project. It also measures profit or loss for the business of different output level. And break-even point is also used to calculate lowest possible activity level without putting the business in jeopardy. So this is all about break-even point and its significance. Now let's talk about calculating the break-even point. There are basically few formula for determining break-even point. One is based on number of unit of product sold and other based on point in sale of money. So there are mainly two formula for calculating break-even point. One which based on number of unit produced by the company, and second one which is determined by the in term of money. For in term of unit, break-even point that can be given by fixed cost divided by revenue per unit minus variable cost per unit, where break-even point in term of money that can be given by fixed cost divided by contribution margin. To understand this, let's calculate one numerical based on break-even point. In statement given that Sam Soda is a soft drink manufacturer in Seattle area. He is considering to introduce a new soft drink called Sam Chili Soda. He wants to know what kind of impact this new drink will have company finance. So he decided to calculate break-even point so that his management team can determine whether this new product will be worth the investment. His accounting costs are follow. For the first month of the product will be in production, the fixed cost which is a $2,000 for the month, then variable cost per product that can be given by the 0.40, and sell price is a 1.50 for a can. So let's calculate break even point for both, for the unit and for the money. For unit that can be given by fixed cost which is a $2,000, so write $2,000 here. Sell price per unit which given in statement which is a 1.50, and variable cost which means a cost for manufacturing that product which is a 0.40. So calculating this term we will get $2,000 upon 1.10 which give 1818 unit. This means Sam need to sell just over 1818 can of new soda in month to reach break even point. Now if we are going to calculate break even point in term of dollar, or can say that in term of money, then equation becomes fixed cost minus contribution margin, $2,000 upon contribution margin which is a 0.7333, so it becomes 2727. This means Sams need to sell dollar of 2727 worth of Sam chili soda in that month to break even point. Anything after the amount will be profit for company. To confirm this figure, you can calculate 1818 unit from the first calculation and multiply by the 1.50 sell price to get amount of 2727. So this is all about the how to calculate break even point. And this is all about today's lecture. I am completing my lecture here. Thank you.